Hello everybody, my name is Alex.
And I'm Adrian.
With Sigala Designs, and in today's video, we're going to be installing vertical doors on this Rapid Blue convertible C8 Corvette. If you guys are new here, please make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button and make sure to turn on those post notifications so you never miss a future upload. We have so many videos planned for you guys that I know you're not going to want to miss. As you guys saw before the video, we already went ahead and put up the car on some race ramps. We are going to be jacking up the car from the front just to give us a little easier access to the bolts holding the wheel well in, as we will need to loosen them all up to get access to some bolts that are holding the fender from the underside. Now, despite what many may think, the front bumper does not need to be removed for this install. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're gonna go ahead and do, let's pop the front trunk, open this up, and we're gonna be popping off all of these trim panels that are under the hood to get access to some bolts that are holding in the top of the fender. Now that we have the trim panels removed, we're going to go ahead and remove 3 7mm bolts holding the top of the fender, along with 2 T15 bolts on the end of the bumper. Let's go ahead and get those removed. The next bolt that you're going to want to remove is also a 7mm, and you will have to open the door to access this one. Next, what you're going to want to do, go ahead, remove the splash shield. It is held on by 1 7mm bolt on the underside, along with 4 push clips. So that will give us access to 2 T15 bolts that you're going to want to remove. Now we can push this back, and it will give us access to reach another 7mm bolt on the back side that is connected to a bracket that holds the center of the fender. Now that the rear half of the fender liner is done, we're going to go ahead and remove 9 T15 bolts that are holding the whole front end of the fender liner, so we can be able to pull it down and have access to 1 bolt right here that holds the bracket connecting the fender to the bumper, along with 2 very difficult bolts to reach holding in the fender to the headlight. These can only be accessed through the inner side with probably the most extensions you can find. These will probably be the hardest bolts to access throughout the whole install and will take you the longest. Take your time, it can be done, and do not rush any of these steps. So now, the reason why we went ahead and removed these 2 top bolts holding in the bumper is because the bracket holding the top of the fender to the top of the bumper, it actually needs to come up and out. So that gives us extra room to lift up the bumper, and the fender is now loose. Over here on the side, the fender comes out and the bumper goes in. Let's go ahead, pull the fender liner down. Have it. Now that all the bolts are off the fender, let's go ahead and remove it. We're going to go ahead and want to pull up on this side. And there we have it. Fender is off the car. The reason why you're going to want to slide it towards the door of the car is because the headlight has 2 guides right here. There's one on top and one on the bottom right there, as you can see, that if you just try to directly lift up the fender, you'll never be able to remove it. Now down here, there's a bracket that holds the bottom of the fender that you're going to want to slide up and out to remove it. Now that we've removed one fender, we're going to go ahead and repeat all the same steps on the other side of the car. All right, Adrian, so what are we about to do here?
So it's always good practice to tape up the door. We will use it to hold up the door, but just for now, you tape up the corners here, because once you put on the bracket, you can nick it and you'll mess up the paint. So it's always good practice, tape everything. Even if you don't think you're gonna hit it, just tape it up.
All right, Adrian, explain what you're doing over here.
So now we're gonna remove the door handle cover. It will just pop up. There is two 7mm bolts right there, and there's two T30 bolts underneath that hold it. Here, take it off real quick. All right, start moving it off. That's one of them, and there's two. They're right next to each other. Once that comes off, it just clips all the way around. And our next step, this like a weather shield for the inside of the window. This you can just peel off. It's just glue. And you don't need to reapply any new glue. This glue would be just fine. Just make sure there's no dirt or grass or whatever's on there. So just set that aside for now. And then the speaker needs to come off. So that's 7mm. There is glue applied on the back side. You can either try to pull it off with your hand or just use one of these plastic clips removals. Kind of just get it in there and turn, and there you go. Just remove the tab. There you go. And then just set it aside. We won't need it for now. What we're trying to do is extend all these wires to the actual wire loom that goes out to the door to the car. There's a whole bunch of clips that hold the harness. The ones on this bottom one, if you want to come over here real quick. So here's that harness that goes through the door. So all these clips need to be taken off. You can either pull them, I just pinch and then pull. And this one, just pull out. So most of that slack that you see there, that's what we're gonna need. So now that you remove this clip down here, so it'll be like that. So look how much slack we have. That is just enough where you don't have to cut anything. The only thing you do need to remove is the impact sensor. We just relocate. So you just bring it down here. So you can just go there. And just put it on. And there you go. Now we're gonna move the hinge that stops the door from opening more than it should. So let's take that off and keep all the parts that you take off. So this, keep it. If you ever want to take off the vertical doors, you can always put this back on. It'd be just like stock.
So now that the harness inside the door is shifted over, here you can see we went ahead, pulled the boot through, and look how much more slack we have in the door. So we cut it in half. So once it's connected to the main connector, we'll zip tie it here around the actual wires, and then this one will be going inside the door after the bracket is installed to make sure it doesn't kink. The next step will be to finally do the cutting required to install the vertical door bracket. We're going to be completely shaving this one off along with this top bracket right here, completely making it flush, and we will be cutting up until the threads to give it that extra bit of room so the bracket has enough space to open and close smoothly. So here you can see Adrian is taping up the door. You want to explain to them kind of why we do this?
Sure. So normally people will either use tape or the painter sticks. We actually use both. Painter sticks just for the capping of the door underneath and in the back side. You do not want the door moving.
I guess once you remove the brackets, this is like the moment of truth to see if you did everything right. The door is still in place, and Adrian is about to remove the second hinge.
There's
Look at
second
that.
one, and
Let's check it out. Look at that. There's nothing supporting the door, and it is being held up solely by the tape. Now comes basically what we've been waiting for this whole time, is installing the bracket. So go ahead, feed the wire through. All the way through, even past the boot, just to make sure that nothing gets kinked. Now, when installing these kits, it is crucial to always install the bolts on the door first before putting them on the ones holding it to the frame. Okay, so now that we were able to tie in 2 on the door and 2 on the frame, we can go ahead, adjust the bump stop to make sure the door doesn't drop on us when we open it, and then we can go ahead and tie in the last 2 on the frame and the last single bolt on the door. So now that we went ahead and tightened up the bump stop, we didn't fully tie in the lock nut, only because once we reinstall the door panel, that little bit of weight, even though it might not seem like a lot, can throw everything off. So once we have the door panel installed, then we will tighten everything up, grease everything, and put Loctite on all the bolts to make sure they don't come off. There it is. So now all that's left to do is bring over the shock, go ahead, get it greased up, and then the door will be able to sit on its own weight. Now that the shock is in place, we're going to go ahead and place the locking pin to make sure that even if you were to lift up the door over its set height, the shock will not pop out of place. Now Adrian is over here working on reassembling basically the whole door panel. So he went ahead, connected the speaker, is bolting it in right now. Now that this side is fully adjusted and we greased all the different adjustment points up, there you guys can see, it goes up, down, there we have it. Now when people see these types of doors, they ask us, can it still be used like a regular door? Yes, you can still open it up, and that is a space you have to get in, and it opens like a regular door. Now that the driver's side is completely finished, we can go ahead, reinstall the fender, and go ahead and put all the bolts back into the fender liner, and basically repeat our steps as we took it apart. Now that the fender is ready to be basically reinstalled on the car, we're going to go ahead and prep it by cutting down the tabs that we will no longer need to make room for the new vertical door bracket. Here you guys can see how it looks from the outside with the door closed. Adrian went ahead and started working on the other side to get that out of the way. But here, door opens up all the way up, and there we have it.
A few moments later.
Now that we got both doors installed, I think we need to celebrate by getting some ice cream. Look at that. Right on time. It's like they knew we just finished the install. I think a celebratory ice cream sounds good right now.
I'm so down. It's so hot right now.
Oh yeah. All right, Adrian, I don't know about you, but an ice cream after an install,
Oh yeah.
pretty
Especially
damn good.
in this heat.
Now that both doors are completely installed, now comes the easy part, and that's putting everything back together. Basically, just retrace your steps from how you first took it apart, beginning with this one. There we go. All these panels under the hood are all just held in by push clips. And there we have it, guys. It's that simple. And that is gonna be the end of the video. As you guys saw, it was a pretty quick and easy install. I know you guys want to see the owner's reaction, so we will not leave you hanging. Once she gets back, we will show you exactly what she thinks of the doors and her first reaction of opening them herself. If you guys are interested in purchasing the vertical door kit, make sure to go to our website, sigaladesigns.com, where you will have the option to purchase the kit either on its own or purchase the kit and have us come out to you to do the install. Okay, so here is the owner and my mom of the Corvette, and this is gonna be her first time seeing the doors go up. So are you excited?
I'm super excited.
Okay.
I've never had a car with Lambo doors, and I never thought I was gonna like it, but then when I saw it in the C8, I thought it was pretty neat, so I wanted it, and you guys are the best to make it happen.
Alrighty.
So, let's see.
So, go ahead. What you're gonna want to do is open the door all the way,
Okay.
and then go up.
Okay. Until it stops.
Yes.
And then just pull up.
Go up.
Oh, that's really, really nice. Oh, I really like it. All the way. I mean, it's still, if I don't want to put the doors up, still have a lot of room to get in and out, you know? Oh. Really nice.
I think it's safe to say that she really loved the way her car turned out. If you guys aren't already subscribed, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button, and make sure to turn on those post notifications so you never miss a future upload. Anyways guys, it's Alex, it's Adrian, and we'll see you in the next video.